launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, January 17, 2022. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that there's a very strong correlation between having optimal levels of vitamin D3 and improved muscle protein synthesis? It's true. Google it. Because that might be the only explanation for what Hunter Labrada has going on right now. A few days ago, Hunter posted these photos from a recent trip to Texas that served as a little reminder to anyone who might have forgotten why he's one of the best in the business. All things considered, this is probably the best that we've ever seen Hunter look during an off-season, which is saying something very special when you consider what he's done over the last few years. The guy just seems to get better and better every time you see him. And if you stack enough of those wins up day by day, the end result usually ends up being really good. Hey 212 fans, I know it's still way too early to be excited about these photos, but if you've been following this division from day one, it's hard not to love what you're seeing from Eduardo Correa right now. Knock on wood, but up to this point, the former Olympia runner-up looks like he's slowly starting to get back into the groove. Anyone who's familiar with Eduardo's story knows that the biggest thing with him has been the injuries, because he's been derailed by one thing or another so many times that it's almost hard to keep track of it all. But if this is the real deal, and he can somehow manage to stay healthy, seeing him back on the Olympia stage this year would be one of the coolest stories of the season. And I know that I'm not the only one rooting for that to happen. Now, if Eduardo does find a way to make it back to the Olympia stage, at least he won't have to worry about trying to scratch and claw his way past Keon Pearson. Even though he's making the move back to classic physique, you wouldn't know it based on the photos he's been posting lately, because Keon looks just as big, if not bigger, than he was a year ago when he was trying to grow into the 212 division. One of the most fascinating subplots of this whole saga with Keon will be seeing where he fits into the equation now. Because with the emergence of guys like Urs Kalasinski and Ramon and Terrence Ruffin jumping up 2 or 3 levels, a top 3 spot in this division is going to be hard to come by. Even if he makes it back to the Olympia stage at his all-time best, you have to wonder whether or not he will be enough at this point in time. And before we get out of here today, I want to leave you guys with a question. Do you think Regan Grimes can win the Olympia in 2 to 3 years? Because I know someone who does, and that someone is his coach, Milos Sarcev. About a week ago, Milos said on the record during an interview that he believed Regan could win the Olympia in 2 to 3 years, which is huge, huge, huge considering the line he would be having to jump in order to do that. Without naming names, I think there are a few guys ahead of Regan right now who would strongly disagree with that statement. So back to my original question. Is Milos right? Do you believe that Regan Grimes will be a legitimate contender to win the Olympia title in 2 to 3 years? Let us know in the comments below. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.